Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing another S.H.Figuarts Spy Family figure, and this is another Anya actually. This is S.H.Figuarts Anya Forger Uniform version. While the first release didn't have a denomination of which version it was, it's basically the homeware version. And the uniform version, while being mostly the same figure, does have quite a few different accessories, mainly faceplates. So the box design is quite similar to the first Anya release, which is a thin box, promo image on the side, and window into the figure, which is also quite similar to almost every S.H.Figuarts, but it's sort of synonymous with the brand and works with the other Spy Family figures as well. On one side, we've got a promo image of Anya, and she's giving us a look with one of her alternate faces. And on the back, we've got a showcase of multiple promo images of what sort of poses you can get Anya into. Not super dynamic, really, just standing poses, but that's, if you've seen the previous Anya figure, you know what to expect here. But the real important thing is the amount of faces you get with this figure. You get 7 different faces with this Anya release. And the first release also had 5 faces, so that wasn't any slouch either. But 7 faces is pretty insane as well. But let's crack it open and have a better look. I didn't open it like I usually do with some of my other S.H.Figuarts, where I open up on the front and show it on camera, just because the promo image is all shown on the front on this one. But taking out of the box, you can see all 7 of her faces, just all put in the plastic blister, as well as several alternate hands. So she's got a pair of sort of relaxed hands, pointing hands, fists, and sort of widespread hands. These are very tiny and very annoying to deal with, much like the first release Anya. And that's just about it. Her accessories are hands and faces, which isn't really any issue, and it's nothing strange coming from S.H.Figuarts, but it would be nice to have sort of more character-specific accessories, like a bag of peanuts, or like her Chimera toy, or something like that. But it is what it is. And I think I'll start off with size comparison, just because I will be comparing both Anyas together quite a lot in this video, so I might as well get it out of the way straight away. So here is the new uniform Anya versus the original release, and you can see they're exactly the same height, pretty much the exact same build, just slight differences due to the outfit. Here she is next to a WCF figure, this is the WCF Nico Robin, and here she is next to a HG Gundam, which is roughly around the size of a standard S.H.Figuarts or Figma. So, much like the first release, she's tiny. But taken out of the box and chucked on a rotating base, you can see all of the details that this figure has. There's some nice paintwork and detail work all on the uniform. The uniform is simple but intricate, and I quite like it. It's just all this nice gold trim throughout, and just looks quite nice. All of the faces are absolutely gorgeous, much like the first release, and we will be going through all of those. But yeah, the sculpt is pretty damn good. For a posable figure, it's not that great, but they had to make certain concessions to make the outfit sort of work, because if they didn't, then it'd have to be something like a cloth outfit, and that doesn't really work with posable figures so well, at least at this scale. Or it would have had very, very, very obvious joint cuts along the dress, and that wouldn't have worked either. But we'll go through articulation. So there's a ball joint at the head, and it's somewhat blocked by the hair, but you can get some okay rotation out of it and some side to side. The arms can move up that far. You can rotate them around. You can bend them at the elbow. And there's a ball joint at the hand, but like I wouldn't really use it as a ball joint. I'd just use it for like a swivel, because it's very, very tiny and you can't really get much out of these hands anyway. For the dress, it can bend just a little bit forward because it is flexible material, but the legs are so weak that you can't really do much with that. The legs can move out and around. They can't really do much, just whatever's in this sort of cylinder. There's a bend at the knee, but you can't really do anything with that. There's a ball hinge at the ankle. You can swivel the ankle and pivot it, and can't really do much with that either. The feet are so tiny, the figure's so top heavy that you can just stand Anya unless you just chuck her on a stand, on an actual Tamashii stand or something. But don't expect this figure to be dynamic in any way. You're here for the accessories, really, which is all 7 faces. So in this release, you get her standard smiling face, you get a sort of frowning, determined face, is what I'll call it. She's got a closed eyes happy face, she's got a sort of excited waku waku face, she's got a crying face, she's got an absolute horror shock face, and she's got a neutral sort of, I don't know how you would describe it, I would say a completely neutral dull face. And with these faces, and the very, very limited articulation, surprisingly you can get some good poses out of this figure, because she is just so expressive, and if you put her with other figurines, that expressiveness carries over and sort of sets a scene. So the shocked faces look great in comparison to other figures, crying face works just as well. All of the other standard faces can be used pretty well by themselves. You can chuck the Anya in basically any figurine display and she looks pretty damn good. And all of the colouring is great. The hair seems slightly different to the original release. I don't know if that really shows on camera so much, but one of the other really, really cool things about this figure is that you can swap all of the faces between each Anya. And while for my figure the new faces seem to have a tighter fit on the old figure and the old figure's faces seem to have a tighter fit on the new figure, they are fully swappable and compatible. And you can get a lot out of the figure then, because you've got 7 faces on the new figure and 5 faces on the original Anya, which allows for a ton of different display options, especially considering that there will be the S.H.Figuarts Bond coming out at some point, and they've shown the Anya on that, and she's sitting down but has fully articulated legs and arms, which leads me to believe it basically is another figure and will have swappable faces, and who knows if she'll have even more alternate faces on that one, which will be crazy. This is just a figure that has a ton of options and sort of begs to buy multiple of. It's just a shame that she is so limited in her actual articulation, but it is a fully understandable limitation. But there isn't much to talk about the figure because the faces are the accessories. The hands kind of suck. I almost lost one while filming because it's so tiny and the way you take them out of the package is just awkward. But it's very much just the same as the first Anya, so my review of the first Anya is very similar in terms of what I feel about this figure to here. It's just that there's more faces, more options, and better paintwork on the new figure because there is more to paint. And that's realistically it. There's not a whole lot to talk about. It's just another pretty good Spy Family S.H.Figuarts. It's very inexpensive, just because that's how it rolls, and it is a small figure, and it works quite well like that. And I do know Tamashii Nations are able to make small figures work quite well, like the new Pen from Dragon Ball looked good, all of the Kid Goku figures are pretty damn good, but they do also work in a different scale to this Anya, because Anya is very, very tiny. I guess the closest sort of comparison would be Anya to the Chaozu figure that came with the latest release of Tien, and they're roughly about the same size, but Chaozu is fully posable. But Chaozu's outfit is very different, and again, they've made certain limitations to Anya to make this work. But overall, it's still pretty good, and I do think it was worth it. I'm undecided on if I'm still going to get any of the Lloyd or Yor, just because I like having Anya as a reaction piece to a lot of my other stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time.